Stuck into 2019. I forgot what year it is. We're well stuck into 2019 now anyway. We've actually had the first two supermoons. There's another supermoon to go. No big changes today. We've got the moon in Scorpio since yesterday afternoon UK time, morning in the States and Canada, only just starting to happen in New Zealand. All my devices are running out of battery suddenly. Let's go quickly. Moon in Sagittarius tomorrow, Monday, the 25th of February at 21:19 UK time. So much earlier than that, 8 hours before that Pacific, 5 hours before that Eastern, 13 hours ahead of it in New Zealand. Half moon 50% full, comes at 11:27 a.m. UTC, that's UK time, on the 26th. After that, the energy is very much into the waning side of the cycle. We're in the waning cycle already, but it really wanes down. We find ourselves standing on our own 2 feet. We find ourselves wondering about the effects our actions might have had on other people. We find ourselves wondering what it's all about, frankly, but how often do we do that? I mean, that is the human condition, surely, is it not? Okay, so Sagittarius, and then Capricorn comes in on, what day is that? I can't say. Thursday the 28th, the very last day of February. February goes out in Capricorn, 6:47 a.m. UK time. So actually it's late Wednesday in the States and Canada, and actually still on the 28th in New Zealand. And then, of course, we're into Aquarius by the weekend. We don't actually get as far as Pisces this weekend, though, so it's kind of quirky. It's kind of not a bad time for letting go of inhibitions and getting things done when we have that Aquarius weekend. But this week, you know, Sagittarians, they can spring back from things a bit. It can be a bit on and off with Saggies, and we've got that Sagittarius influence, so you don't even have to be a Sagittarian. We're coming towards that now. We might see some of that today, Sunday the 24th, but it's definitely happening tomorrow, Monday the 25th. And then we get into March. Generally speaking, it's a quiet week in terms of alignments. There is quite a minor aspect between the Sun and Mars, but it's got a lot of energy behind it. And there's kind of a bit of a conflict there. And there's also a sign change coming in for Venus. Sun's going to sextile Mars basically on February the 27th. It's going to be a good time for actually making things happen. You know, that Mars energy can be very frisky. It can be too much. It can be difficult to cope with, quite honestly. And it can bring out sort of the negative side of some people. Have something positive, have a project to channel all that negativity into, and things will go a lot better that way. There's also Venus squaring Uranus from the last degree of Capricorn. It's the first of 3 Venus-Uranus alignments like that this year. Possible repeated conflicts. In fact, I would say almost certainly repeated conflicts, and people wanting security instead of kind of change. That's one of those conflicting things within any human being that keeps changing. Sometimes we want the security of knowing everything's solid beneath our feet. Sometimes we need to be out there making things happen, and life makes less sense if we don't go out there and then do some of that. And that's going to certainly be an issue over the next week, so don't be afraid to get out there if you possibly can. We are, of course, in the pre-shadow to Mercury retrograde. All through that, in fact, and it's on Saturday the 2nd of March that pre-shadow goes intensified. This means that lessons are coming up. Some things are a bit hard to take. Oh, you know, I hate it. It's anything to do with communication. I don't hate it. I don't like to have hate in my heart, but I'm getting absolutely sick of car trouble in Mercury retrograde. I paid a lot of money to get my car mended about 2 weeks ago, a lot of money. And yesterday I had to have it towed away again, and it's just never-ending money. And I worked out when I can pay to get it all sorted again, and it's kind of roughly the end of Mercury retrograde. So it's got me in that sense. Look out, anything to do with travel, transport, communication could be going all right. We don't get to find out until, let me see, between the 29th of March and the 16th of April when the whole thing finishes. Main Mercury retrograde day is going to be Tuesday, the 5th of March, and it's very, very Pisces. It's watery, it's emotional, but at the same time, it's compassionate and caring. The pre-shadow actually started in 16 degrees Pisces. The actual retrograde on March the 5th is in 29 degrees 39 minutes Pisces, and the direct station occurs in 16 degrees 6 minutes Pisces. So it's a journey from 16 degrees 6 minutes right through the cycle back to 16 degrees 6 minutes. Um, that is bound to increase the amount of Piscean energy around this thing. It's not just kind of a happening, passing by thing. It's a very close alignment. So look out for that Pisces influence, which is not a bad thing. I'm just saying that's the way it goes. Okay, folks, well, thanks very much for watching. If you'd like to come over and join me on the Twig Brother channel, there are more and more videos going on there every day. It's starting to pop, as they say in YouTube terms. It's just suddenly getting more views. And so it's great. There's a bigger network there. Things are moving faster. I'm still keeping it Astro Truth. I want to make sure I've got everyone with me before I stop doing this, because these connections are so important. Meanwhile, my friends, have a brilliant week, and I'll see you again very soon. Goodbye. It's just how do we end a live stream, folks? I'm not quite sure about this.